Okay, let's dive in. Welcome everyone. We're doing a deep dive today into something really powerful, often unseen, the influence of your subconscious mind.
That's right, and we're grounding this discussion in, well, a classic source, aren't we? Dr. Joseph Murphy's The Power of Your Subconscious Mind.
Absolutely. A text that's really offered a kind of blueprint for countless people trying to understand this inner force.
Mm-hmm. It's had a huge impact.
So our mission today, we want to unpack those core principles. What is the subconscious according to Murphy? How does it sort of secretly shape our reality?
And crucially, what are the practical takeaways? The keys presented in the source that you can actually use, for growth, confidence, health,
Yeah.
even success.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because the source jumps right into how this thing operates. It's not just storage, is it?
No, not at all. It's described as this automatic powerhouse. It influences, well, everything you do, feel, react to, all based on its underlying programming.
And here's the bit that always gets me. The source makes this almost mind-bending point. Your subconscious doesn't know the difference between what's real and what you just vividly imagine.
Right. It just accepts the input, doesn't filter it, doesn't judge it.
So experiences, beliefs, strong emotions.
Exactly. It takes all that stuff, you feed it, and weaves it into this deep mental blueprint.
Mhm.
And what happens next? Well, that's where the real power starts to show itself.
Which leads us straight into that central concept from the source, the real hook. This profound link between your thoughts and your actual reality.
Yeah, the idea that thoughts aren't just passive things floating around in your head. They actively create experiences.
Mm.
And over time, the source says they become tangible things.
It's presented almost like cause and effect. Think negative thoughts consistently, especially about a goal.
And the subconscious just takes that as the instruction. It starts, building that reality of failure or difficulty around you.
But flip that coin, believe you'll succeed, like with real conviction.
Then that becomes the marching order. The good conscious gets to work making that happen instead.
It's like having this incredibly powerful servant inside you, but maybe one without its own opinions or filter. It just hears the persistent thought and goes, okay, you keep thinking this, must be what you want.
So let's make it so, whether it's something you consciously desire or sometimes something you deeply fear.
Fascinating. And the source helps by kind of defining the roles, doesn't it? Conscious versus subconscious.
It does. It paints the conscious mind as like the captain of the ship. It's logical, analytical, makes the choices when you're awake and thinking things through.
But the subconscious, that's the vast engine room below deck.
Exactly. Controlling all the automatic functions, breathing, heartbeat, all that, but also running on the instructions the captain gives it, or running on that deep ingrained programming from the past.
So that's key. It just accepts whatever thoughts, feelings, beliefs are impressed upon it without question.
Mhm. Which means that historical input, stuff from childhood, anxieties from last week, that becomes the operating system. That blueprint dictates your default settings, your perceived limits, your potential even.
Wow. So if you've got this deep-seated belief buried down there, like, I'm not really good enough for that job.
And even if your conscious mind is trying its best to be positive, saying, I can do this, that underlying program, that engine room setting is still going to heavily influence your actions, your feelings, maybe even make that negative belief seem true in the end.
Makes sense. But the really empowering message from the source is that this isn't like a fixed destiny.
Not at all. That's the whole point. If consistent negative thoughts, say, about public speaking have built up this pattern of debilitating fear and avoidance,
Then you can change that pattern. By consistently impressing positive, confident thoughts about it instead, you can actually reprogram the engine room.
and this is where the source starts handing us the tools. Belief itself is the starting point, alongside visualization.
Right. Belief is framed as fundamental. If you genuinely, deep down, believe something is possible for you,
Or impossible.
your subconscious aligns itself to basically prove you right. Believing you're meant for success activates totally different internal processes than believing you're just destined to struggle.
Which really makes you pause and ask, doesn't it? What beliefs are you holding right now, maybe unconsciously, that are actually dictating your results? The source argues you can actively choose and cultivate new ones, empowering ones.
And that leads directly into affirmations. The source presents these positive statements, repeated consistently as a direct communication line to that subconscious.
It's almost like installing new software, isn't it?
Yeah.
Repeating, I am becoming more confident every day, or opportunities flow to me easily. It's not just empty words, according to Murphy.
No, it's giving the subconscious specific new instructions, telling it what reality to start building.
And visualization fits perfectly with this. The source talks about vividly imagining yourself already having achieved your goal, like a mental dress rehearsal.
Yeah, using multiple senses, seeing it clearly, hearing sounds associated with it, and crucially, feeling the emotions of success, of having it now.
Because by creating that rich sensory emotional experience in your mind, you're impressing the subconscious with this really powerful desired image. And
It
remember,
doesn't know if it's real or imagined.
exactly, it just accepts this compelling input and starts working behind the scenes to make your outer reality match that inner picture you're holding.
So it's more than just daydreaming. You're feeling the confidence, the satisfaction, the relief, and your subconscious starts wiring your whole system for that feeling, that outcome.
And if we broaden the view a bit, this influence isn't just about, say, career success or money. The source really delves into the mind-body connection, the subconscious impact on health.
Yes, the whole psychosomatic idea, but explained through the subconscious lens. It's a compelling argument in the source that our persistent mental states can absolutely manifest physically.
hmm Positive, harmonious thoughts fostering health and healing, while chronic negative emotions, stress, suppressed feelings, they can contribute to physical problems.
Murphy's view is that creating that positive mental environment within the subconscious can actually promote healing. Now, obviously, it's not saying you can think away a broken bone.
Of course not. But it highlights the power of belief, positive expectation, and inner peace in supporting the body's natural ability to heal itself and maintain vitality.
He even uses the placebo effect as, like, prime evidence, where belief alone, the idea of healing impressed on the subconscious, triggers real, measurable physical changes.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What if some chronic physical tension or maybe recurring discomfort is linked to deeply stored emotional baggage? Limiting beliefs, maybe.
The source suggests that consciously working to release past hurts stored down there, maybe through forgiveness, acceptance, and deliberately choosing positive, healthy thoughts, can actually be a pathway to better physical well-being.
Imagining yourself free from those old burdens, feeling light, energetic, healthy. That conscious mental imagery impresses the subconscious, encouraging it to support that state physically.
Okay, so this all sounds incredibly powerful. How do we actually get good at this? How do we master the process? The source gives practical steps, right?
Yes, definitely. And it stresses that it's not usually a one-shot deal. It's about consistent practice. Repetition and reinforcement are absolutely key.
Like any kind of training, really, the more often you impress those new thoughts, those empowering beliefs, those desired images onto the subconscious.
The deeper they sink in, the more embedded they become. They start to replace the old default programming. Consistency is vital.
And the source suggests combining things for maximum effect, like repetition with visualization.
Exactly. Repeating a positive affirmation while at the same time vividly visualizing the successful outcome that creates this powerful sort of double impression on the subconscious hits it from two angles.
Makes sense. Okay, what about the big roadblocks? The source tackles fear and doubt, which must hold so many people back.
Oh, absolutely. Fear feels incredibly real, visceral even. But fundamentally, the source presents fear as, well, just a thought. Often a very persistent, powerful thought, yes, but still just a thought pattern.
And if it's just a thought,
It can be changed. It can be replaced by consciously confronting those fearful thoughts. Not fighting them necessarily, but acknowledging them and then actively, deliberately replacing them with empowering beliefs and images.
so visualizing courage instead of collapse, feeling capable instead of overwhelmed.
Precisely. Practical steps involve acknowledging the fear, maybe understanding its root as just an old pattern, and then intentionally impressing the opposite, feeling peace, confidence, competence using those tools, affirmations, visualization. Over time, doing this consistently diminishes that subconscious, knee-jerk, fearful reaction.
Which leads us right into building confidence, because the source argues that confidence isn't something you're just born with or without. It's built.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It flows directly from a subconscious belief in your own worthiness and capability. So, consistently affirming, I am confident, I am capable, I trust myself, I handle challenges well.
That impresses that reality onto the subconscious. And then it begins to operate as if that's the absolute truth about you. Your posture might change, your voice, the opportunities you notice.
Which naturally ties right back to achieving success, however you define that. Murphy presents success not as some kind of external luck or random event.
But as the natural outcome of cultivating an inner success mindset.
Yeah, if your subconscious blueprint is fundamentally wired for success and abundance, meaning you deeply believe it's possible for you, that you deserve it, you're simply going to see the world differently. You'll perceive opportunities others miss. You'll act in ways that naturally lead towards those successful outcomes.
The source is pretty direct about it. The subconscious will find ways, create the conditions for success when you truly deeply believe it can and will happen for you.
It's about having clear goals, sure, but the really critical piece is making sure your subconscious belief system is aligned with those goals.
Because if your conscious mind is saying, I want that promotion, but your subconscious is whispering, you're not really management material, guess which message the engine room pays more attention to?
Usually the deeper, older message.
Yeah.
But align the two, get the conscious desire and the subconscious belief pulling in the same direction, and suddenly that subconscious becomes this incredibly powerful partner in achieving your goals.
The source is packed with stories, isn't it? Case studies of people applying these ideas.
Oh, yeah. Really compelling examples of people overcoming significant obstacles, transforming finances, health issues, relationship problems by consciously working with their subconscious mind.
And it's made clear this isn't presented as instant magic. It requires faith and persistence.
Absolutely. Faith in the process itself, faith in your own inner power, combined with persistent, consistent application of these tools, the affirmations, the visualization, feeling the desired end result.
Continuously working with these things trains your subconscious to support your goals, helps you push through the inevitable resistance or setbacks that come up.
Dr. Murphy's ultimate message really is one of profound empowerment, that this subconscious mind, it's the key. It's this largely untapped resource within you for unlocking a life filled with more abundance, peace, health, joy, whatever you truly desire.
It really does all come back to understanding that inner dialogue, that hidden programming, and then taking conscious control to rewrite the script where needed. The source makes a powerful case that things like confidence, health, success, they aren't just external things to chase.
No, they're internal states first, cultivated by aligning your conscious intentions with the incredible creative power of your subconscious mind.
And maybe the most freeing idea in the whole thing is that this power, this potential, it's already in you right now.
It just needs the right input, the right instructions.
So, as you think about everything we've unpacked today, maybe consider that central premise from the source again. Your subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between what's real and what's imagined, and it accepts input to shape your reality. With that in mind, what intentional input could you perhaps start feeding it today? What shift could you begin to make to start moving your experiences towards the life you visualize?
Yeah, maybe just one single belief or one clear image consistently impressed upon that incredible inner power. What could that begin to change for you?